Chris Broussard and his homie. You know, we want to hear from Rick. What do you think? What do you expect tonight?
I would expect the boos from whoever ends up showing up in the building. Texas is wide open. I don't know. Texas being wide open, according to the governor, means it's going to be wide open and allow everybody into the arena. I don't think the NBA is planning to take that approach. Nonetheless, I don't expect that he's going to get a heartfelt welcome back to the city. And I actually could see where the Houston Rockets, who have lost 12 in a row, get it. The players weren't happy about what James Harden was suggesting about them when he left. I could see them motivated to end the 12-game losing streak that they're on right now. But if Harden is expecting to be welcomed back by anybody, whether it's the team or it's the fans, he is sadly mistaken. I don't see that happening. And I have a little bit of an issue with owner Tillman Fertitta deciding to come out and say that, yeah, you know what, we're going to retire James Harden's uniform because all he did for us in Houston. Not discounting what James Harden did in a Rockets uniform, but the emotions over him leaving and how he left, those are still raw. And the people in Houston don't care at all that he has put it back together in Brooklyn and is having the success that he's having with the Brooklyn Nets. If anything, that only digs the wound a little bit deeper in terms of him leaving and how he left.
Well, Rick, I'm with you in that it's going to be ugly. I mean, like you said, who knows how many fans will be there, but the ones that are there, I think will give James Harden an earful. We've seen this before. Vince Carter back in Toronto, Kevin Durant back in Oklahoma City, Kyrie Irving, Cleveland, Carmelo Anthony, Denver. He's going to get booed, and that's fine. I think that's actually what they should do. Time will heal the wounds. Where I disagree with you, Rick, I liked what Tillman Fertitta came out and said. First of all, it's obvious. We know he's the second best player in franchise history behind Hakeem Olajuwon, which is saying a lot. That's a great franchise. They've had some awesome players, but I feel comfortable saying Harden's number 2. But I like that Fertitta came out and said this because I think that makes him look like the bigger person. And obviously he was stung by Harden leaving. It hurt his pocketbook probably by Harden leaving. But for him to come out and acknowledge how great Harden was there and that his number will be in the rafters, I liked that. I thought it showed class. And I don't expect the fans to show class tonight to Harden. And I'm good with that. They can show him class when he comes back, next season or something like that.
Brew, look, recognizing what James Harden did for them, having some sort of a tribute video or a highlight video or thanking him for the years that he was there, I'm okay with that. But we're going to anoint him. We're going to give him the special recognition that comes with having the number retired in light of how the fans are going to feel. I just think it lands wrong. Tillman Fertitta is supposedly in the hospitality business. You might be serving James Harden in this instance. You're not serving your fans who feel some kind of way about James Harden right now. I just think it's way overboard and trying too hard to say, yeah, everything's good, everything's copacetic with James. I don't need that right now. And it's one thing for him to leave. It's another thing for him to dog it in order to get out of there. And granted, I put some of this on Fertitta and the Rockets because Harden did let them know during the offseason, I don't want to be here. Move me. And they were taking their sweet time and doing it. And as a result, James decided, you know what, I got to show them how much I don't want to be here. I'm going to start half-assing it. And he did. But I just can't reward that behavior, even if it worked out for James, even if they somehow had a part in it, the Rockets, that is. Reward that by he's not even in the building yet. And you're going, oh, and by the way, we're going to retire and we're going to consider him an all-time great. I have no problem with them doing it down the road. Doing it right out of the gate at this point, months after he forced his way out, it feels like an overreaction and unnecessary.
And fans don't react to overreaction situations the right way. That's why fan is short for a fanatic. It's not going to be a warm, fuzzy reception for James Harden. You're not going to get the same courtesy that you believe you gave to Houston and the fan base when you come to this game. It's just very simple. That's very plain. And in fact, if you want to really know what it would have felt like if the arena was full, look on social media, and you'll get all the information that you need in terms of what they feel about the return of James Harden. We will see it. So I don't think that he should expect that, nor should I think that it should affect him in any type of way. In fact, he should feed off of the negativity because he tried to get away from that. He wanted to get away from what he felt was that negativity that he felt like wasn't a place where he could get to that ultimate goal of winning the championship. I think that he handled it in a way where if you were happy about the way things ended with James Harden when this season started and how he left and was traded, I think that that's tongue-in-cheek to put that out in the media to say, I hope that same courtesy is returned back to me, because you can't possibly think that the way you handle things would warrant you to be welcomed back with a warm reception.
LaVar, I'm 100% with you. I think it's delusional on James' part that he thinks that he's going to get a warm reception or that he even deserves a warm reception. And I'm not going to negate what he did for the Rockets and the value you mentioned, Chris, that he had to the organization and all that he achieved there. I'm not. But if you're believing that at this point in time, your first return to Houston, mere months after you dogged your way out and then left them with a team that is just dregs, has lost 12 in a row, then I don't know what reality you're living in where you think people are just going to forgive and forget that immediately, maybe with time, but not right now.
Well, see, Rick, I don't think he's delusional because I don't think he believes what he said.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I think he's tossing it out there, hoping that the fans take the bait. He knows that what's in store for him. He's going to get booed severely by the 500 or 3,000 fans or whatever show up. But he's tossing it out there, hoping that they say, well, and James is helping people in Houston with all the troubles we've had with the weather recently. He was a good guy. He's just hoping. It's wishful thinking. But, Rick, let me say this. I disagree with you on Fertitta. I think if they were to play a highlight video tonight, now I don't think there are plans to do that. If they were to play a Harden highlight video and give him some type of salute and praise for what he did there tonight, that to me would be ridiculous. That would be delusional. That would be crazy.
That's scrub action.
But I think when you say we're going to retire his number, they're not retiring it tonight. By the time they retire James Harden's number, all will be forgotten. Harden may have a championship or two, and Houston will be back, with different types of players. And so I think it'll be fine when they actually retire. If they were going to retire tonight, I'd agree with you. But this was just, I liked it from Fertitta. Only way I wouldn't like it is if he was trying to retire it tonight.
You make a fair point in that the highlight video tonight might be more offensive to the fans, whoever's there, than announcing that you're going to retire his number. That said, I don't think you jump to the retirement. The thing that I will be most interested in, and I hope I'm not disappointed in this, is that I do not want to see a whole lot of love from the Houston Rockets players to James Harden. He dissed you by saying, I want out of here. And you should be wanting to come back and make a point to him. We may not be good. We may have lost 12 in a row, but we're still going to kick your ass. Because otherwise, it really puts that would be the worst look possible. If I see a lot of hugs and embraces and you're my guy beforehand, man, I'm just going to look at the Houston Rockets and say, I really don't need to watch you for the rest of the year because you just don't have enough pride to stand up to the guy who said, I'm not good enough to play with you, James. You need to go someplace else because you can't get
Rick,
it done here.
I feel you. I did not like what he did to his teammates. And if I'm John Wall, I'm definitely salty. What about, though, the guys he did go to war with? The Eric Gordons
PJ
and guys
Tucker?
like I could see them giving him a hug. Yeah, I could see a little hug between them because they probably can say he's not talking about us. I mean, we were to wars.
But they're friends away from the game. I mean, you're not going to.
Maybe afterward.
Well,
I don't want it all love and roses coming into that game.
When I played,
I would be disappointed if Wall did that. I agree with Wall because Wall's a perennial All-Star. And Harden treated him like a scrub.
When I had the opportunity to play against my former team, my friends were upset that I didn't come to midfield and give them hugs and shake their hands. Like, it's just, I think it depends on the mindset and the personality of the people that you're dealing with. I don't think it's necessarily right or wrong if Harden and PJ and other guys that are friends embrace each other or hug each other. You see that happen before the tip. You see that happen a few times, hard foul, whatever it may be. But I will say this, it'd be interesting if they played that tribute video of James Harden to get under the skin of your players, because you said the fans would be offended by them playing a tribute video. Imagine if you're a player and your team is struggling and they play a tribute video, the guy that's maybe the hottest player in the NBA right now in your own spot. I might turn it up a little bit and be like, the nerve of these dudes to actually play this tribute video for James Harden, and he wanted out of here. But anyway, digress. Guys, how does it end? Do you feel like he answers it the right way or not? Does he answer the call? Negativity and all?
The Rockets are going to get destroyed tonight, and Harden's either going to have a triple-double or go for 40-something. That's what I'm predicting.
You're probably right. Everything would say you're right. I hope that the Rockets have enough pride and enough gumption to say, if we're ever going to play one good game for the remainder of this season, it's going to be tonight.